And thank you for joining us on 12 News at 5. I'm Jacob Albrock.
And I'm Christy Tedesco. We're less than a day away from the start of a special session. While passing a tax relief plan will be the priority, top Republican lawmakers will also lay out their plan to lure the Kansas City Chiefs and Royals across the state line. They hope to use more than $1 billion worth of bonds to help finance new stadiums. It comes after both teams have come out publicly saying they would be open to the idea. 12 News reporter Gabriela Hernandez has the latest chatter. Gabriela.
Jacob, Christy, a special meeting held today was a chance for lawmakers to express their concerns and questions before they go into special session tomorrow. The state will look to finance a STAR bond that covers 70% of the cost for the new stadiums and will have a 30-year payback period. Right now, Kansas typically authorizes STAR bonds for 50% of the cost with a 20-year payback period, showing just how far lawmakers are willing to attract both teams. As the legislature prepares to weigh the expansive proposal, lawmakers appear split. A representative for the Kansas City Chiefs showing his excitement for the STAR bond, saying the time is now.
Why are we doing this? Why do we have to rush? Why are we having this in special session? And the point is that time is of the essence. The time is now. Missouri spoke, Jackson County spoke, they had their opportunity. But now there's a moment for Kansas to step up and an option for us all.
The bill stated that the stadium project will need approval by June 30th of 2025, and an extension agreement could be filed another year.
Gabriela, thanks. The main purpose, though, of tomorrow's special session is a new tax bill. As we told you last week, Republican lawmakers and our Democratic governor have agreed on a deal. Here's some of it. It would create a 2-tax bracket code, cutting the tax on Social Security. It also includes multiple exemptions and property tax cuts. It would not end the sales tax on food early, July 1st, because state leaders say the time to do that has run out. Today, a hearing held on the bill. Those testifying say it's a start, but more relief is needed.
We hope this bill does go into law, but I say that somewhat hesitantly because it is much less tax relief than is needed and is much less than is affordable. This bill will help a little bit on the taxpayer side, but it will do nothing to change the state's economic situation.
The special session was called after Governor Laura Kelly vetoed multiple other tax bills, calling them too expensive for Kansas in the long run.
Happening in about an hour from now.